Xbox DRM and Steam. I think I was talking to Nelson about this on Xbox
Yeah,
Live,
you was.
and it's something to the effect where I think Microsoft now, a year and some change later, looking back at what they were trying to do, after analyzing it, it was not that much different from Steam. With one major difference was that always online. Now, if Microsoft had probably adopted the more lenient way like Steam. Like for instance, Nelson gave me this desktop, and then I have my laptop here, right? I put my Steam account on that desktop, and I was able to stream some of the non-Steam games onto that computer without even having it installed, which what the Xbox
Mm.
One was going to allow you to do, but we lost that feature when they removed the always online. Okay, so with that being said, there were some good things about that DRM that, now that you look back, it would have been like Steam. But the fact that always online was the one thing that effed it up. Now, a lot of people don't want to admit this, but I believe there was I had a conversation with someone at one of the conventions, and it was like Sony would have been looking at, all right, if Microsoft did it well, they would have done the same shit. So a lot of the fanboys are like, oh yeah, look at what Microsoft did and this and that. If it worked out, that nobody would be saying anything. But if you think about it, that might have been a good thing. You go somewhere else, log into your Xbox account and your Xbox Live account, bam, access to your game. You know what I mean? And Steam did it right, and while I was in Afghanistan, like Steam was like my only thing for gaming because I couldn't use the Xbox One over there. I couldn't use my PS4 too much. It was just I had to do all these online updates and such. Yeah, Steam, you check in like what, once a month or once a week, whatever. But it didn't, like, once you got your game, you can go offline, play it to your heart's content.
Mhm.
So I think Microsoft was trying to shoehorn it into the console world and didn't do it well, especially with console gamers being fundamentally different from PC gamers. But I just wanted to put that topic out there and let it circulate with the staff. So Nelson, since you and I were most recently talking about this, what are your thoughts on this? Like, Microsoft was onto something but poorly executed. Do you agree or disagree?
I mean, if they would have took the same route as what Steam is implementing now with their deals, with their great service, and helping render certain games out due to certain specifications that you have on your computer, like presets, I guess you would call them, then it would have been a great idea. Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I was not, as of I would say 2 weeks ago, I wasn't a PC gamer at all. I was always on console. I would always have to wait till random blessings from either Sony or Microsoft to give me a fucking deal,
Mm.
and it's a pain in the ass due to the fact that I'm a budget gamer. I don't, I'm not working at the moment, so money's a little hard for me to get. But with the source of Steam, Steam is consistently, and I mean consistently, throwing sales back and forth in your face. Like, all right, here, we'll take off 80% off of this brand new title for a couple of days, and you can get that with the DLC. Or they'll give you bundles or deals, or even the fact, like, let's say you're not able to get the game at that time, you can add it to like your wish list and just keep it on place. So then you can remember the game. So when you have the fundings, you can always go out and buy it. Plus,
Or
they don't charge you tax. Like, these guys they know
Yeah.
what they're doing.
And the wish list can let your friends know to buy shit for you.
Look at that. Look at that. Not only that, but it has an integrated messaging system. You can
Yeah.
also voice chat on there. You can fight online with these guys. And very soon, I don't know if it's implemented yet because it's still in beta, you can stream directly from Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's still in beta, but it's
Yeah.
out there. Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
If
And
you
then-
if you have another thing, a device that has Steam application, and you can stream you can stream the game to the other
Media
device.
Shield tablet.
Yeah. See? So I would think that Microsoft kind of dropped the ball if this is the ideal route that they was trying to copy off of that Steam is doing now. It would have been
In
definitely
terms of accessing the
yes,
games.
in terms of accessing the games in the digital sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it would have been a definite good path for that, but they dropped the ball. That whole DRM thing with the always online, it kind of fucked it up for some people. I mean, mainly, in my opinion, this affected the people who are TOs, which is tournament organizers, that would follow up towards playing fighting games or whatever kind of competitions, or just even going like overseas, like where you was not long ago. It's kind of hard to bounce around to always have internet connection.
Yeah.
And now they changed it so that you can get updates every time when you do sign on. You'll get the updates, which I think is a lot better. But I hope with the whole CES happening, they integrate both the backwards compatibility, hopefully the Steam idea, and more future stuff in the
Oh,
future.
all right. So on your knees, what are your thoughts? Like, I know you don't have the one, but I know that there were a couple elements that could have worked had they attacked it better and looked at Steam's structure to get it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, your
They,
thoughts.
they were more focused on controlling the money and the IP more than getting the just 1 second.
Hmm.
The getting the people what they wanted. So that's why they came with that convoluted system they were trying to pull on the people, which obviously backfired, and you could just look at the console sales to see that.
Hmm.
Another good thing with Steam, which I don't think was mentioned, you can actually share your account now with up to 5 other computers. So
Oh.
now,
Hmm.
yeah, I have access to my brother's account. He has mine, and another friend of mine has access to my games. So you can have up to 5 people's libraries access to them on your stations. And the only
Mm.
lockout is that if they're active on their account, you can't play their games. But you
Yeah.
can just switch to offline mode, play your game, and they can play your game on your account on
Wait,
their
Hmm.
wait,
home
wait, wait.
station.
So let me get this straight. So I can, no, because I'm new to this. I'm new to this. You know what? I'll talk to you after
You
the
said you're
podcast is over.
ludicrous.
I'll
What?
talk to you after the podcast is over. Continue.
Yeah.
Continue.
So yeah, they're coming up with a lot of good stuff. There's the streaming now. I'm sure at some point they may even add in Twitch streaming if they do, if they plan to, which I think they probably will. It's
They're
very.
working on it. That's in beta. They announced that
I
they're
thought
working on
I thought it
streaming.
was okay. I thought that was just device streaming. They're actually doing Twitch streaming too.
No, that's what I meant. They're working on the streaming for like to be
Oh,
able to stream to like Ustream and
oh,
Twitch and stuff. They're working on it.
I thought it was just to devices. I didn't
No,
know
no,
that
no.
it was.
They have the game streaming, and then they're working on a way to be able to stream now to major networks
Yeah,
or
so
like Ustream.
they're
Similar to how Microsoft and the supposed Arcadia project is supposed to work, where you'll be able to stream like older Xbox games and PC and stuff from the tablet. Like that's kind of like their answer to backwards compatibility. But you know, like I mean, Steam is doing some great things, and I think that Microsoft should have looked at that infrastructure if they were going to try to semi like you said convoluted, diluted, however you want to say it, way of trying to allow people to access games from other consoles.
yeah.
You
The
know what I
problem
mean?
is that Microsoft upper management has their head up their asses. That's
Yeah.
why that's why it's hard for companies like them to be innovative.
Mm.
A lot of ideas get stifled because it gives too much freedom to the people. It doesn't give the corporation enough control. That's why you
Mm.
see a lot of that nonsense and why they're always delayed. But smaller and lighter companies like Steam tend to excel in these type of areas. And then
Mm.
you have people like Microsoft and Sony playing catch up to them.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, so keep an eye on Steam. Like Nelson said, there's always sales. There's daily sales. The winter sale just ended, or I think I spent over $100, half of which were for gifts for other people. That's why I mentioned the wish list thing. You put your wish list out there. People look at your profile. Oh, this guy needs this game. Boom, he has it. You
That's
know,
awesome. That
and
honestly, my dream is to see Steam take over like a console, like allow you to access
well,
Steam
they
or
do have the Steam
Steam box,
console, but
don't they?
that's yeah, they have a Steam box, but you're better off just making your own rig, just like anything else.
yeah.
When it's
Yeah.
a home PC, you're just better off building your own because you can build it how you want and you can
Hmm.
expand it how you want.
Okay. All right.
But also the other thing is with Steam, they with multiplayer games they often have 4 packs where
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you could buy 4 copies of the game, give them to your friends, and you get like 1 copy free. So you
Yeah.
pay for 3, get the fourth free.
Okay. All right. So Goken, what are your thoughts on,
DRM.
Yeah.
It's a mixed thing. I get that. I get it. There is some obligation to try to protect the developer's work, right? You know PC games come out and then someone makes an offline version of the game and then like no one's buying it or something. I mean, I get it. Again, Steam has a great program. I think where the consumer, I mean, the writing is on the wall, right? We all know we're probably not going to have physical copy of things probably 5 years from now, right?
Hmm.
The my biggest beef with all of it is that you kind of slowly give too much power to the Xbox, to Microsoft, to Sony, to Steam, because now when they have their little bullshit battles, we get screwed like with Marvel versus Capcom, and Disney's like, oh, you don't want to pay our yearly licensing fee? Well, you can't have it in the store anymore, and
That's
people
messed
can't
up.
download it anymore.
Yeah, they
So
took
so
off.
so there goes the problem, right? So then now you have your disc and you have your games and stuff, and then you're stuck with having to go plug in your old console to play these great games when
Or
you
maybe.
bought it on you
Well,
bought it
and I
when
think
you bought it
to
digital
put
download.
to add to that, Netflix has dealt with that before, and what they did, they make their own TV content now.
Yeah.
So you might see companies like Steam. They are a game company. They haven't put out anything that we wanted for a few years, but you might start seeing that where if they people getting start shut out, they'll just hire their own studios to make games for them.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Blizzard is a great example of a company that does really well with DRM because you have to be connected to play Diablo and StarCraft and those games. You need at least you don't need it specifically to play the game, but it checks in, right? You can't be
Well,
offline
that's actually why I didn't buy StarCraft because there's no offline play anymore.
right. So I mean I think that's a great idea. You can buy into that infrastructure, right? It's if you make good enough games, yeah, go on your own and make your own content. Fuck it,
Hmm.
and just let people pay to play. Your content. And if you're good enough, I think Bungie's almost at that point where they could do it themselves too. I think I have a lot of faith in them, and they could probably create a platform where you just log
Mm.
in and play their games. I mean, shit. I
That
mean,
should
that's
be
where we're
interesting.
going. Yeah,
All
so
right.
I mean that's my take on DRM. It's a hit or miss. Just let's not give too much power to these fuckers, man.
Okay. All right. And lastly, Noop, on this topic, what are your thoughts? Like, I know you're not on Steam like we are, but if you knew the
Well,
benefits
well, that's the
that's
thing, and the conversation we had before the podcast. I'm getting into PC gaming. Never thought I would. I really thought, honestly, just I never understood specs and stuff like that because it's like, and I
okay.
and I thank Apple for teaching me that because I looked at Apple and I was like, they release one of everything every year. Apple doesn't have 57 different laptops like an HP or a Dell. And then when you start looking at specs, you realize honestly that's really pointless. And then I started hearing about Steam. And then one thing that really gets me interested in the PC gaming market is I love my retro games. I love the knowing that I can go back and play Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, and stuff like that. I can't do that on my consoles. And then another thing about
Unless
a P,
you have the SDK and you can make homebrew applications, but they don't want you
and,
to do that.
yeah, exactly. So just looking at things like Steam and where things are going in the future, and just me being in education, these kids are getting smarter, and after a while, they're gonna realize what we realize. The consoles are becoming the equivalent of a handheld. When you have a younger child, you might want to give them a handheld because it's easy, it's simple. You buy it, you stick it in, no homo, no pause, all that, and they just play the game. They just play the game. It's like basically, simplified. That's all consoles are. It's simplified gaming. I plug it in and I play. It's dummy proof. I don't have to do any maintenance. They do
Yeah, yeah,
everything
yeah.
for me. But with the way kids are getting smarter now, they're coding, they're doing all kind of stuff in elementary school, and they're learning. Shoot, I could build this thing myself and get something even better. Once the education of the consumers continues to catch up with the technology, the older stuff is going to become obsolete. Like consoles will eventually become obsolete because computers are streamlining into everything now. They're in
This is
our
true.
cars, they're in our phones, they're in our watches, they're everywhere, and
Yeah,
tablets.
it's almost
And
mandatory to understand how everything works now.
Yeah, yeah.
yep,
It's pretty much that's the case. you can't afford not to know how this stuff works. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff. All right, but before we do our next transition, any final words
Yeah,
on?
actually, I
Mhm.
completely missed something. There is Good Old Games, GOG.com. It's owned by the company that does The Witcher CDR, City Project Red. Completely DRM free games. It has an interface like Steam, or it's not fully involved like Steam. You don't have to be online, but they have their own store, website, and everything. And they do sales. They sell a lot of old games, but they also have newer ones, completely DRM free.
All right, good stuff. All right, so going into our next intermission for the YouTube portion of it, those of you who are watching us live, stay tuned. We're gonna keep rolling with this. For our YouTube people, we'll see you on the next segment. All right, so break and now the next topic, guys.